Hello, people. I'm here with a person that I am a great fan of. His name is Wes. His channel is Interactive English, and I watch his content for a long time. And I am really happy to have him here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Why did you start the channel? How did it all start?
I started the channel. This happened, I think, gosh, the year 2015. I had just finished my MA in TESOL. Well, now my wife, we were getting ready to move to Europe. Before we moved, I was watching some videos on YouTube, and a lot of it, was passive learning, just explaining certain things. And I thought it would be cool to try to do some videos and try to make it a little more active learning and have people actually try to answer questions or get a little more engaged in what they were watching. So that's kind of how it all started. So it was back then.
Why did you decide to be an English teacher?
Well, even before then, after I finished university, I'm dating myself. I finished university in 2002 and I started traveling abroad, and mostly I was doing some volunteer work. But while I was traveling, at the time I was living in Costa Rica, I met a lot of English teachers and talking about their experiences and places that they were living. As it ended up, after another year went by, and I applied for a teaching position in South Korea, and that's where my teaching career began. And that was about in 2006. And then I moved to South Korea. I kind of fell in love with teaching and education. I've always loved language learning, and learning about other cultures and teaching and traveling was a great mix for me at that time. It kind of started off that way, and then I just kept going. Like I said, when I went back to get my MA, that's when I really decided on focusing on this as more of a career.
Your work is flawless. Your videos are amazing. I watched them for a long time. From all this work, what can't you forget?
At the time, like I said, we wanted to do things that were more active language learning. So we were experimenting with different things, the way they allow you to put like cards in the videos. We had some reading videos, like reading comprehension, where you'd have like a passage that you would read, and then I would ask a question, and they'd have to click on the correct answer. And when they get that one right, it would go to another video asking another question. So it was kind of like traveling through this YouTube as you answer these questions. Unfortunately, they took all that down. So those videos, they're no longer active. On a side note, some of my favorite videos, my wife and I did some like travel vocabulary vlogs when we went to Barcelona and Dubrovnik in Croatia. I really love those videos. We had an amazing trip. I really enjoyed my time. Those videos are not that popular, but those are ones that are very memorable for me.
I loved it when you recorded with Papa Teach Me. I like him a lot. He's very funny.
Hello, it's Rod's friend here, Ginor from Real Everyday English. Sorry for interrupting your video. I just want to make a quick recommendation that you subscribe to Rodrigo's channel. He's an amazing guy. He's so humble, he's so dedicated, and he creates absolutely fantastic content. Don't forget to subscribe. See you people soon. Bye-bye. God bless.
The course that I'm running now mostly focused on like speaking and helping learners build their confidence by talking about a variety of topics. We do different speaking activities, so there is vocabulary involved, pronunciation. In the course, there are weekly pronunciation video lessons. So it's really focused on speaking, in which vocabulary, pronunciation are a part of that. So that's kind of the focus on this course, and then hopefully I hope to expand with more in the future.
Of course. And how do you balance being a father, being a teacher, being on YouTube, being a husband?
I don't know if I do it very well, but I try. It's tough because I think in the YouTube space where you're constantly putting out content, it's easy to get overwhelmed. It's hard to sometimes take a step back. And then our little girl now, she's 2.5. Making time for family. It's a hard balance. I think I'm still working on it. I imagine I will have to continue working on it in the future. Right now, obviously, family is the most important thing. And I really want to find a way to maximize my time with them, I guess, trying to lessen some of the stress of some of these teaching commitments and obligations, but such is life.
My favorite video on your channel is when you explain the word ass. Because you explain the word ass in a way, you are like me. I like to keep the channel family friendly. I don't use some kind of words. I know the people who are watching, but I want to keep it for everybody. But that video was amazing. How was it to record?
I had a lot of fun recording that lesson. It was actually like my mother had sent me a link to somebody else talking about, I don't know, I forget if it was that word or another word, and they were really going through all the different ways people use it. And it made me think of the word ass in English and how there's so many different ways that people can use it with other words. That was I really enjoyed creating that lesson, but I feel the same way. I really try to be mindful of the content that I'm putting out and kind of what part of the language I'm teaching. I did a video, gosh, a few months ago talking about like sexual innuendos, mostly approaching it from the point of like trying to identify them and understand them. And again, there's a lot that are somewhat innocent that you find in like children's movies even, and really using that as a point of reference. But yeah, I try to keep it as clean as possible.
Yeah, me too. But I could tell that you were like, am I going the right way? Is this too much? How does it feel for you to go live? Do you like going live?
I do. At the beginning, I was so nervous just getting on there. It was a little new. Maybe it was a little awkward because I wasn't accustomed to like the online teaching and these platforms. But now I just really enjoy it. It feels, I think that part of it is really very engaging. And those are the lessons that I really like to make. It's more active learning where I'll do quizzes and have people write answers in the chat or the comments, and they get to participate in the lesson.
What is your opinion about a non-native teacher?
I think that's awesome. I feel like some of the best teachers, the best English teachers that I've met have been like non-native teachers.
Yes.
And I think, again, regardless of what your native language is, I feel like teaching in general is a craft, and we can all learn from each other. You've been teaching for a long time. I'm sure you know of a lot of different activities that have been very useful and very helpful that you could teach me. So I really think that in that regard, as long as you continue to try to perfect that craft and improve your knowledge and share with each other, I really think that's what makes a great teacher. So many teachers that have been amazing that are non-native speakers.
I took my master's degree in Spain in teaching English as a foreign language. I'm crazy about your language, and if it wasn't for English speakers around the world, I wouldn't be able to speak English. Accent reduction. What is your opinion about all that, Wes?
I think it is it's another topic that I think when it comes to language learning that people are now trying to tread carefully so that people don't get the impression of like you're saying accents are, people shouldn't have a foreign accent. And my view is that the most important thing is mutual intelligibility, that people can understand and communicate with each other. I think every learner has different goals. Some people, I've met a lot of people, even in the Speak Up course that I'm teaching, and they say that, yes, I would like to try to learn more like the American accent, and we'll talk about some of the things about pronunciation and the way people will pronounce words or connected speech that relate to that. But yeah, obviously, I don't think anybody should feel like they need to change their accent. But at the same time, I don't think people should be shamed for that. Like if somebody was kind of thinking that, oh, you think that people shouldn't have accents, obviously that's not the case.
I totally agree with you. We're gonna have accents forever.
Absolutely.
If you speak another language, you have your accent, so I think accent is charming, and I agree with you. Now I think we can play the rapid round game. The first question is, my family is?
My family is amazing.
Teaching English is?
Rewarding.
My next station will be?
I think place like Spain. I think we're thinking of maybe heading there. We'd like to.
And the last one from me, peace for me is?
I'd say like just time with family, relaxing. That's what, again, like finding that balance to be able to maximize that. At least for me, it's good for my mental health, and that's very important.
It's food for the soul.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now you can ask me.
These are just things I was curious about. Like my favorite class activity is
The rapid round game.
a language that I would be interested in learning next would be
French.
French. Okay. All right. Are you learning it now?
No.
This is one that I was curious about. What you say? The most challenging language skill for me between like reading, writing, listening, or speaking is
I think it's when you have to teach a beginner all the pronouns and everything, you know. But I've been doing this for many, many years. One thing that I can tell you about this, which is very curious, I know the process the students going through because I went through the same process. I know where the difficulties are. I know what they need.
Yeah.
I know how to help them. But it's amazing. And one other thing that I can tell you, I have students from around the world. When I'm teaching Brazilians, sometimes I use Portuguese in the classroom. But in what way? To optimize time. Because lately I've been teaching my students in a kind of dogma style. No books, just a blank word screen. And I asked them, what do you want to learn today? And they say, no, you are the teacher. I said, but you pay me to teach you. So what do you want to learn today? And then we start talking the way we are doing right here. And then the questions come. I think that's important. But I like to see my students evolving, speaking and being confident. And I always tell them, it is okay to make mistakes. I make mistakes in Brazilian Portuguese every day. And that's my native language. You know?
I make mistakes in English all the time.
And the last one?
If you, I'm just curious, because I'm from the US, if you were going to travel to some place in the US, where would you be interested in visiting?
Well, let me tell you something. I am absolutely crazy about New York. I've been 6 times already.
Wow, all right.
I love San Francisco as well. I think it's a wonderful city. I think anywhere in the States. I have some friends in England as well that I would like to meet because we meet them online, but we don't meet them up in person. I have the travel bug and I love traveling, you know, that's what I mean.
I'm the same way. We moved from, when we moved to Europe, we moved from the Bay Area, from San Francisco. It's a beautiful city.
For every guest, I have a sentence, a quote, a takeaway when we finish. And for you is thank you for letting me learn with you because I watch your live streams, I watch your videos. I am your member. Keep doing the wonderful job that you've been doing, and I hope we can collaborate more in the future if we find time or if we make time as well.
Sure, absolutely.
You are awesome.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me and inviting me for this interview. And I would tell you the same thing. I think what you're doing is great. Hope you keep it up.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you liked it. This was Wes from Interactive English. He's amazing. I knew that. Thanks again for being here with me and for doing this interview.
Thanks for having me.
See you. Thank you.
So long.